Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to another video. My name is Cameron from CIB Canada. Today we have easily the coolest, best haul that we've ever had on the channel. We have some Super Nintendo complete in box stuff here, some holy grails as well, quite a few loose carts, a complete in box Super Nintendo, actually another console as well, and a few extras in between. I can't wait to show you this one. You definitely don't want to miss this. Right before we dive into this, I always have to start by appreciating the support that we've had on the channel so far. We're really growing now. We've already hit our 100 subscriber goal, which was meant for June, but we hit it 1 week into April. So thank you so much for that, and we hope to keep growing. I'm gonna come up with a new goal, maybe 200 by June. I'm not sure if 200 by June is pushing it, but let's go for that for now. So anyways, let's dive into this awesome haul. We're going to start this video off with the loose Super Nintendo games, then go into the complete, then the console, and then all the extra stuff that was thrown in after. So, without further ado, the first game of the haul is Final Fantasy Mystic Quest. I did make sure that every single game in this haul is working and cleaned, so they are all good to go, which is awesome, and they are in really nice shapes. The carts are, that is, at least. The boxes are definitely worn and very in condition, but the carts are all really nice. So there's our first game. I haven't played really many of these games. My Super Nintendo library is quite small, so it was really awesome testing these games out, and it's gonna be really hard not to keep them. But this game here is Super Mario Kart. This is one of the ones that I have played and really enjoy this. My favorite Mario Kart of all time is Double Dash, but you can't go wrong with the original. And again, in super nice shape. So really pleased with that so far. Next is Super R-Type. I have never heard of this game either, but when I did test it, I had a lot of fun playing this one. So I played this one for quite a bit. Just really fun and easy to get into. There's a little bit of Port Elgin history right there. Beach Town. Never been there myself, but that's pretty cool to see. I always love that. And I am rushing through these loose games just a little bit, because the complete games are definitely more interesting and stuff. Not that these are not great games, but you know, that's why we're really here, right? But this is Lagoon for the Super Nintendo. And again, really cool and nice shape, all cleaned up. So I wish I was holding on to these, but these are for the Sky Games Canada inventory. They were sold to me by Rick, who is a local close to me, who reached out to the Sky Games Gmail, and we worked out a deal on these games. And I went and met up with him and made sure they all worked and cleaned them up, and that's how they are in my hands at the moment. So, and here is one of the best games on the console, Super Mario World, many people's favorite childhood game on the console. And I never had the Super Nintendo growing up. I got it much later when I was a teenager, after I had already been collecting for quite a while. But I mean, Super Mario World is one of my favorites on the console. And next one here is another fantastic Mario game, Super Mario All-Stars, with the first 3 Marios there and the Lost Levels. We did get this in a previous unboxing. If you haven't seen our previous unboxing where we got a few Super Nintendo stuff, I will put that on screen right now. That was an awesome haul as well. If you're new to the channel, we post lots of unboxings of video games. Make sure you subscribe and check those videos out. Now, those are it for the completely loose games. I know that was kind of contradictory, but the next 2 games I'm going to show you are with the manual included as well. So next up is quite an incredible game, and even when I loaded this up, the music just took me on a trip. It was really amazing testing this game. This is Secret of Mana. I know this is a fan favorite of many and quite a great game to have in your collection. And this is in really great shape as well. And it did come with the manual. So the manual is in less desirable shape, but not too bad either. So this is really cool. I mean, I think I've mentioned this before, but manuals are just one of my favorite things that the older games had that I wish the newer games had as well. I just would spend so much time reading these on the way home. I think my closest game store growing up was about 20 minutes away. So I definitely got a lot of reading in on the way home. So that's really cool. Secret of Mana there with its manual. Really happy with that. And the last game here that comes with its manual is Eye of the Beholder, a Dungeons and Dragons game, which is super neat. Also in incredible shape there. And we got the manual with that one, which Again, not as great as the carts. It's got some damage there, as you can see, some water damage too, so not as good as the Secret of Mana game or manual, but not too bad either. It's better to have it than not have it, I will say. And we don't have the boxes for those, which would have been awesome, but we got some great games in box coming up, so I can't wait to show you that. I'm just gonna move these out of the way because I feel like we're gonna need the space. First up, I'll actually show you one of the ones that wasn't complete, but it had manual and box only. You might have saw it at the beginning of the video. It is the Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. Now, I have this in my personal collection, the Player's Choice version. I am going to keep this one in the personal collection for now with my Player's Choice version until I get the original version, and then I'll see what I will do afterward. Either put it to the Sky Games inventory or just keep the complete game for myself, because I really love this game. One of my favorite Super Nintendo games, so it would be nice to have in the collection, but it's in pretty nice shape overall. There are a couple dings and a bit of wear, but it is definitely not bad. It definitely holds its shape quite well, and I am happy with that. So if I keep this in the personal collection, it'll be really, really nice and my best Super Nintendo game that I would own. But if I do decide to sell, it's in very nice shape for collectors and players. So very happy with this one. I'll just get this gunk off the front and then it should be good to go. And we can have a quick look in here. So there is no box and there is no cardboard insert and there is no game, but we do have the manual here in decent shape, and just behind that, the consumer information. There we go, and the good stuff here. So the manual, just a bit of bending there. That's not the biggest deal. I prefer that over the water damage the last manual have, but man, look at that. That is so cool. So we got the Master Sword there. An incredible artwork here. But the story of Hyrule. Wow. This is super, super neat. I've actually never looked at this. I didn't open this yet, so while I did test the games, I didn't really look through the manuals quite so much. So this is really, really cool. You got your own story in here, and then you have how to play and what the game is about, and all that good stuff. All the good stuff you would do on the way home from the store. This is so cool. Really, really like this. So yeah, might have to keep this one at least for the time being. All right, now finally onto the good stuff, the complete stuff. And here we go. The first one here is in really nice shape. It is Breath of Fire 2. Just looks super cool. Like, that box art is incredible. I would love to put this on like a shelf with a nice light overhead and just really display this one. But man, it is just beautiful. Yeah, there is some slight damaging there, so it is not perfect, but it is definitely a very, very good looking box here, and I would take that for my personal collection, no problem. I know some people are very picky, but I think a lot of people would be happy with this condition as well. So just another little ding right there, but other than that, pretty good. And man, I just can't stop looking at this front cover. That is super cool. And now let's dive into the unboxing here of the game. So we got the manual, and I think this one came with an insert too. Let's see. Yeah, it did. It came with a poster. All right, so I'm gonna put the box aside for now, and let's check out this poster first. Hopefully it fits all in the camera here. But look at the art on this. So nice. Very cool. The Super Nintendo era just had incredible artwork, especially for the RPGs. And it does have like the stats of the weapons, the armors, the spells, all that fun stuff. So that is super cool. And on the other side here, we have a nice map, which I'm not familiar with the game, so I'm not sure like where these locations are and everything. And then we have the title there, which looks fantastic, and that nice little artwork there too. So really, really cool piece right there. Gonna fold that back up. I will show you underneath, which is its manual, and the manual here this time is in really nice shape. This manual is quite minty. Can't complain about that. And again, just incredible artwork. Just blown away with this, guys. Like, I've never ever had a Super Nintendo haul like this. I've had loose games come in, but Even in my personal collection, I only have a few complete in box and nothing of the caliber that is in this video, so it just gets better, guys. It really does. But really happy with Breath of Fire 2 here. And finally, let's have a look at the game. Again, the carts are in super, super nice shape. Can't complain about those. I'll quickly just take this one out. And again, look at that. Awesome stuff. Looks really cool. Loving the art style for this game. And there we go, our first complete Super Nintendo game right there. And next up is a fantastic game, and definitely a holy grail item for some Super Nintendo collectors. This is Final Fantasy III. I mean, a classic, absolute classic in the series. Unfortunately, out of the games, this one I believe is in the worst condition, or maybe second worst condition out of all the ones we got. There's a bit of peeling there on the box. There's definitely a lot more wear and bends and damaging there around the corners. At very least, the artwork is still intact and very readable on the text, so it isn't in the worst shape as they come, but it definitely could be a lot better, especially for a high collectible item. But it is complete, and the cart again is in fantastic shape. So let's open this one up as well. Let's see, so the flaps are there, I think on both sides. Does have the map, and again, this one kind of inside and out is definitely not in the best shape. So first of all, the map here, or the poster, has some wear and some bends and even some rips, but overall, have a look at that map. World of Balance, looking fantastic. Love the art style of Final Fantasy III. We'll flip it over to the other side here, and World of Ruin, and just looks super cool. So despite it being like in not the best condition, it is still super cool to have. It's better than not having it at all. And underneath this game here is the manual, and oh boy. So again, better to have the cover than not have the cover, but it is not attached to the rest of the manual. The rest of the manual is fine and intact, so we'll take a look at that first. There is a couple bends as well, but overall in okay shape. And again, we have screenshots of the game, looking really cool. I'm not too familiar with the retro Final Fantasy, more so like the PS2, PS3 era I know a little bit more about. But again, Final Fantasy wasn't a big series for me, so this is just neat to look over. It was super fun testing this out though. And have a look here, we got the cover and the back there. So we're gonna put that right just like this again. And put the back on, and down here in the box, we do have the minty cart. I'm just gonna leave them in for now. You can kind of see all you need to see there on the front. And we're gonna put that back in and move on to our next game. Fantastic. So moving on to the next game, you know what? I am going to save the best one for last. We have 4 left. I'm going to give you another fantastic one, but there is better. There is still a better game. So I am still so excited to be showing you this, guys. I hope you are enjoying the haul so far. This is Ultima the Black Gate, in decent shape here, but definitely some wear. That's kind of the theme of this collection, was these were just sitting in a box for many years, and these games were played back in the 90s when Rick had initially played and purchased them. But just gotta love seeing stuff like this. And I talked to my sister's husband about all these games, and he grew up with the Super Nintendo, and his favorite games were all these RPGs. So he was just absolutely blown away that you know, all his childhood games were kind of sitting in one box that I had just picked up. So he was super excited about that. And this, you know what, I'm really happy with this one. Despite its wear, it definitely is in pretty good shape. Definitely better than that Final Fantasy one. Got the manual here on the front. Show you that first. I don't know if this one came with a poster or not. I don't believe. Oh, it did. Yes, we have it there in the box as well. So manual again, in good shape. Nice looking art and all that good stuff to read about the game, and all the guidance from Batlin. That's super cool. So we're gonna put that aside for now, and I'm gonna show you this really cool poster. One side has information about the cities and towns of Britannia, all these cool things just to get you really invested into the game. I love that there. lots of good information. And then on the flip side, just a really, really cool poster. I would have loved to have this on my wall as a kid. We have the Ultima Blackgate map here. All these great spots from the game. You gotta love all this stuff. And this one is in really, really great shape. So this one doesn't look like it was hung up like the Final Fantasy one, which definitely was. And again, the Ultima cartridge is in nice shape. And we do get the box, and we do get the dust protector included in that one as well. So can't complain about a complete, awesome game like this one. And there we go. There it goes and joins the pile of complete games there. I mean, come on, that's looking awesome. Just before we get into the next one, I want to say if you're enjoying these kinds of unboxings, make sure you like the video, comment below, and subscribe. It helps the channel grow so much. We are still very, very small in this big world of YouTube, and all the support helps. And even better if you enjoy the stuff and you want to come back and check out our next video. And before I show you the next game, which is another fantastic game, I just want to hear in the comments below, what is your favorite game for the Super Nintendo? Whether it's a childhood favorite or one that you finally got and collected as an adult. Let me know in the comments your favorite Super Nintendo game. And next up is Secret of Evermore, and the art on this is just awesome. Look at that. That is super cool. You can't argue that that's not cool. And the box is not in the worst condition, but not in the best condition either. One of the worst, if not the worst of the haul, like I said, with Final Fantasy. And it really comes down to the top here and the missing flap there on the inside. I'm not sure you can tell, but it is missing. And I think that side too is missing one. But yeah, it's definitely not in the best shape, but at least it's holding its forms kind of. Like the top isn't, but the rest of it is holding its form quite well. And look at that, the back looks really cool. I really like this one. And let's go ahead and open this up. Look at that. All right, so manual, not the best manual we've seen in the video so far, but also not the worst. So Secret of Evermore instruction booklet. Okay, some interesting art there. And how to play, of course. And this is super neat. I could flip through these pages all day, but we got to get going with the unboxing here. And the cartridge, look at that, Secret of Evermore, in great, great shape. Just a tiny little ding there. But definitely much better than the box, that's for sure. Now, this one does not have a map or poster. I still have to double check if it originally had come with a poster or something like that. But as far as I know, or at least as far as it came, it just has the manual here and the game. And there we go with that one. And next up is probably our game that is in the best shape out of all of them. Very close to Breath of Fire, maybe even better. But it is one of our cheaper games. This is Wizardry 5, The Heart of the Maelstrom. I think I've said that right, I'm not exactly sure. But the box art's really cool. It's in fantastic shape too. There isn't really any bends or creases as far as I remember. Oh, I guess there is right there on the top. But overall, I think this one is in the best shape out of the haul. Looking really, really nice. I haven't played this game other than testing it for a few minutes. Actually, that kind of goes for all of them there. So definitely let me know, what is your favorite game so far in the haul, including these games and including the one game that is still to come. But let me know your favorite game that is worth, I don't know, maybe me hanging on to, or maybe if picking up for my personal collection down the line. Let me know. My Super Nintendo collection, again, is maybe about 10 games, 12 games. I honestly can't remember how many I have. And then also, while on that topic, the inventory for Sky Games only had about a dozen Super Nintendo games, maybe not even. And now we've already easily doubled that. But anyways, look at the shine coming off this box. It looks almost brand new, so really love to see that. All these are going to be put into a plastic protective case and covering, so to make sure that they stay in their current condition and outlive us all. And here we go. All right, so this does have the you're not going to believe what's inside advertisement. Let's take a look. So, free player's guide. If you sign up here, you can read through that if you would like. And it gives you the top secrets, all that fun stuff. I was reading through this at another time. This is super cool. It gives you so much power every month that it's scary. You can join the Nintendo Power Superpower Club, which is fantastic. I loved the Nintendo Powers as a kid. I didn't order them, but I remember getting them at garage sales and at the video game store, and really wanted to get a subscription. But the Nintendo Power Superpower Club, man, I wish I was a part of that, but you could sign up there back in the day, and that is super neat. And this is in really nice shape too, like the rest of it here. It also has this free prizes from Capcom. If you would like to read that, you may. So monthly drawing for free Capcom prizes, that's cool. I would love to know, have any of you ever won one of those prizes? That's really cool. I never entered really anything like that before. And we got the manual still in the box here. The manual, unfortunately, isn't as good as everything else, which kind of sucks because the box game and all the other things were so nice, but that's okay. We can't complain too much about getting anything in this haul. It's already amazing, and it also is super hard to find, like things from 30 years ago that haven't been creased just a little bit, so that's all right. And not as many pictures in that one, but still great to have the manual nonetheless. And we got the game here. The box for this is in really nice shape too. Look at that. Really, really nice condition on that one too. And finally, last but not least, a holy grail for the Super Nintendo. This is Ogre Battle, The March of the Black Queen. And its condition definitely could be better. It is one of the lower conditions of the haul, but this game, just having this in my hands is just quite astonishing. I think this is super cool to even own, to even hold, to even see in person. Again, I'm not from the Super Nintendo era, so I never played these games growing up. I never had these games. So just seeing this is really cool, because looking at the price tag, I know this is a huge collectible, a huge collector's item, and this is just a super neat thing to own, even if just temporarily. So really, really pleased to be holding this, and hopefully one day someone who has been searching for this game will be able to finally add this one to their collection. Very happy to be stepping up our inventory game here. So we've definitely had lots of loose stuff before, and mostly the $20, $30, $40 range for the Super Nintendo. So now, like, we've really increased our range here in terms of games and price tags here on the games as well. So really pleased with this. So let's go ahead and open up this gem of a game. There we go. So it does also have its maps. I think there are 2 for this one, and it does have the manual behind it. So we'll do the manual first here. Again, not the best condition, but again, it's complete. We'll take it. We'll take it. And look at that art right there. That is super cool. And this is definitely my kind of game. I love tactics games. I love army management. I love empire building, all that kind of thing. I love leveling up. I love getting your characters different skills and all that stuff. So I definitely want to play this game, and games like it are definitely my thing. So the fact that I don't have this game or games like it for the Super Nintendo in my own collection is something that I should change one day. But look at this. This is super cool. I love maps. Maps are like my favorite. I love map grand strategy games, and people who don't get it call me crazy. But Europa Universalis, if you play that game, you know what I'm talking about. Crusader Kings 3, you know what I'm talking about. Those are awesome games. So anyway, back to the haul here. Ogre Battle with its manual, and here's one of the posters here. This talks about the different units, and it's called the Who's Who list, and it tells you all the things you need to know about the characters that you can have on your team. And if you flip it over to the other side, same thing. There's just some more characters to go along with that. So that's really cool, really neat. The other one here is a weapons and armor list. So lots of information to digest here. Stuff that I don't really know what it's talking about, but if you've played it before, maybe you do. And we have on the flip side here, items essential to a warrior with a sweet looking dragon. The tarot cards. on the side there too are really interesting. I don't know what that's about, but that sounds really cool. While its condition isn't perfect, at least we can say the cart. We will take out this one, might as well. The last cart here. And the best one, Ogre Battle, the March of the Black Queen. In fantastic shape. Look at that there. A little bit of whitening there, but that's all right. And it does have the dust cover too. So we'll put that back in its box there. So there are our complete in-box Super Nintendo games. They are looking super, super nice. They just look fantastic there, alongside our loose games, alongside our box and manual only Zelda game. But that's not all that we got in the haul. We also got some consoles and some extra things. So I'm gonna have to make some room, and then I'm gonna show you those. All right, here is one of the consoles that we got. We got the Super NES control set, which is quite a difficult variation to find, which is super cool. But as you can see, there's definitely lots of sun fading damage here, but overall the box and the console and stuff inside is in great shape. Just the sun fading is really kind of upsetting, but again, as you know, one of my favorite things, I don't like to complain, so this is still really, really cool to see. Love to see all this stuff. And this is where I really wish I had some of those meta glasses to record instead of holding my phone with my tripod here. But nonetheless, here we go. We're gonna explore this complete in box Super Nintendo here. Look at that, all the games that you could play. I loved how they advertised them all in the back of the console box. And yeah, as you can see, there is some slight wearing, but you can still read everything just fine. And that is very, very cool. So we'll have a look at this side here. And they were advertising the Mario paint, but it's all blue because of the sun. The other side does look much better. So there we go. And I don't know if we've seen the bottom. Can't remember, but there we are. Okay, same as the top. We'll get that open and we'll be right back. All right, so we opened up and this is what we have inside. We have the instruction manual here, which is very, very nice, in great condition. How to set up a Super Nintendo. So that's pretty cool. I actually almost needed it because I didn't know what this thing was at first, but this is, I think, if I'm getting it right, to have your NES and SNES plugged in at the same time, or am I thinking of a different piece? I don't know. Somewhere I did see that was a thing. But yeah, again, I was used to the red, yellow, and white. I was not used to this, the coaxial cable, I think it's called. I'm gonna get absolutely roasted in the comments if I am saying that wrong, but whatever. All right, so we got this cool postcard. We got that instruction manual thing that we got in some of the games. And then look at this. Can reading make you live longer? Really cool Mario art. It can if you're reading Nintendo Power. Now that is awesome. Really, really cool. So that's a neat piece of history right there. I'd love to see that. Again, we got this really cool giant poster, which I'll show you right here, showing off some of the games for the Super Nintendo and how to hook it up. So look at the size of this poster. That is fantastic. Really love to see that. And it also included 2 controllers with this set, the power bar, the cables to hook it up to the TV. And then as you can see, this Super Nintendo did experience some yellowing, which was super common, but the great thing is he included 2 Super Nintendos in this lot. And have a look over here. I've got it in this box here. I've yet to clean off the consoles, but look at this one, in much better condition. I don't know too much about the variations in the Super Nintendo consoles, but this one does have the same model number and all that, except there are some slight differences. You will see that the eject button, for example, is all gray here, and there's this sticker on there. And then if you look at this console, the eject button is in white, there is no sticker, and there's a couple other small variations. So I believe I'm going to pair this with the box because it is in better shape, and then have this one just on its own. But I'm not sure if I'm doing something wrong by adding the wrong variation of the console, but it does have the same model number and everything on the bottom. But yeah, there were those slight variations that I was mentioning that made me unsure. So if you know anything about why that would be a little bit different, let me know. But yeah, on the other one as well, it's exactly the same on the bottom. It says Super NES control deck. So I just want to make sure I don't do the wrong thing by switching it, but I still think I am going to switch it. And we got the couple more cables down here and an extra controller too. And then in this box over here, which was very cool, this is the Game Essentials Blockbuster Video Super Nintendo controller. And look at that. That is very, very cool in its box as well. And let's have a look. Let's open this up. All right, so specially designed to give you a better grip and definitely more buttons than the original Super Nintendo controller had. Let's have a look inside. It is still in, or it still does have this bubble wrap here. This is a really neat controller, and I haven't played with this yet. I actually haven't tested this. I forgot to, actually. So out of everything, I forgot to test this controller, but everything else was working. So I'm going to try this out, make sure it does work. And again, I'm not sure what this is used for. I'm assuming fighting games, but I have no idea. If anybody knows, let me know in the comments. I'm going to do my research as well before. But Blockbuster nostalgia has been just on fire, so I think this is a really cool, neat piece of history here for Blockbuster. I mean, we all had that experience of renting video games, renting movies back in the day. And this was before me again, but this is cool. I didn't know they had their own kind of Super Nintendo controller. So that was a neat little bonus right there. And another cool thing that was in that box here was the Super NES Games and Secrets book, which is awesome. Before the days of being able to look up absolutely everything on the internet, you had to go through something like this. I remember back in the early 2000s, I was one of the first people ever, posting questions and hints and secrets about certain video games for the GameCube and PlayStation 2 on supercheats.com. But this predates even that and even me. But this was super cool. These kind of books I love to see whenever I can and just give them a read through. And we actually have Super R-Type in this haul, so that would actually be very helpful. So that's really cool. Anyway, so what else came in this box here? Not Super Nintendo related, but this was also just thrown in. I thought I would just include it at the end of this video since it was in the same haul. We got 3 PS2 games here, Midway Arcade Treasures, and they are in excellent shape. They're all complete and pretty much like new. We have the Namco Museum 50th anniversary, and the last game here is Star Wars Starfighter, which I actually had never played or heard of before. I only remember the Battlefront ones or the Lego ones. We got a memory card down here as well. We got 3 controllers. One of them is the GameStop controller, which is super cool. I also didn't know that GameStop made controllers for the PlayStation 2, so that's super neat. And then in this bag we have the online startup disc, the manual, all the extras, the PlayStation Underground, which is kind of like the Nintendo Power, which is super cool. I also wish I had that as a kid, but I did not. I actually don't own any of those in my collection either, but I do have quite a lot of Nintendo Powers. And then a nice PlayStation Slim console, which is pretty much like new as well. Like there's really no damage or no dust inside of it or anything like that. So, and I did test that and that is working beautifully. All the games are as well. So that was very, very cool. A very nice extra to have on top of already an incredible haul. So we'll just quickly do another scan here. Console, all these boxed games, a pile of loose games there, a Blockbuster controller, the Super Nintendo in its box. We don't care about the Sun Fade too much. That's still super cool. And then we have these Super NES cheats right there. So, man, what a fantastic haul. So that was everything that was in this haul. I know I've said this pretty much every video in a row, one after another, but it just keeps getting better. While this one wasn't the largest haul per se, it definitely was the highest quality, and I don't know if we're going to beat this one for quite a long time. This was a one-of-a-kind deal and one-of-a-kind also just interaction. So huge thank you to Rick for selling me these and working out a deal with me. Really, really appreciate that you trusted me with your childhood games here. I'm very excited to just witness and experience this bit of history that I missed out on growing up and haven't had a chance to add to my own personal collection over the years. So if you enjoyed this unboxing, please give a huge thumbs up. And I'd really love to know not only your favorite Super Nintendo game of all time, but what is your best holy grail item that either you have, that you hunted down for a very long time, or one that you are still hunting? For me, my holy grail item, it has to be a game that I didn't even realize was a holy grail, is the Call of Duty Black Ops 3 Juggernog Edition. I ended up pre-ordering that when I was in high school. I worked as a dishwasher. I saved up all my money and was pre-ordering collector's edition left and right. And out of all of them, that one ended up exploding in value. So that is definitely one of my holy grails in my collection. The other one would maybe be my Pokemon Gale of Darkness, childhood copy of a game, lost the case. I talked all about that story in one of my previous videos. That'll come on screen just right now. But yeah, those are two of my grail items that I'm very, very proud of and hold dearly in my collection. So let me know in your collection, what is something that you have or that you are hunting for that you hope to add one day. In terms of games that I'm hunting for, you can check out my 2026 retro video game wish list. There are a couple games there that I've already checked off the list, but there are still quite a few more I need to get this year. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. Check us out on our socials. The link will be down below. And make sure you subscribe if you're interested in seeing more content like this. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.